Hey guys, how's it going? So I took and hiked out today. We're going to be doing a winter tent camping situation. Today is one of Mother Nature's menopausal days because last night the low was 21, today the high is 46, and tonight's low is 25. So I hiked out, I left right about 11, got here just a little bit before 12, and during that time it was still in the upper 30s, but it's just now starting to get into the 40s. It's a little bit after 12. So I was going to take and show you guys, this has been in past videos, this is my Alps Mountaineering Mystique, I think is how you pronounce it, 1.5. So they have like a 1, and that's strictly a one-person version of this tent. The 1.5 is meant to be in the middle, and then obviously the Mystique 2.0 is a two-person tent. Somebody my size, the 1 is plenty, but it is nice to have that extra bit of moving room and places to put stuff if you're on, like going on a longer distance or a multi-day trip. So tonight I've got something kind of interesting planned that I've never done before with this tent, but we'll get into that here in a little bit. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the rain fly on. Before that, I'll show you guys kind of what we're working with. Like a completely all mesh shell, like an inner shell. It ventilates well. The nice thing about with the winter camping, it doesn't end up having a lot of condensation. It really has. I've never had an issue with condensation whatsoever with this tent, so it gets 10 marks on that front. I've not had a single tear or any issue with that. It is nice having doors on both ends, and for the little experiment that we're going to do today, or I guess I should say tonight, that's going to come in extremely handy. And I put my tent here for a lot of reasons, like in this position. One, there's a lot of deadfall and stuff around here, so having a fire is going to be easy. Also, this area is really, I mean, everywhere around here is really rocky in the Appalachian Mountains, but I just know that it's really easy to find surface level rocks around here, so that's another reason. And then also just because this right here ended up being a pretty no, it's not level, there is a slant, but as you guys know from my past camps, I like to kind of camp with my feet facing downhill because it gives you that natural incline, and then you don't have to worry as much about a pillow. But I did bring my inflatable pillow, so I'm going to get the rain fly on this, and then we'll get to the fire, and I'll explain more about what we're going to do tonight for our heating situation. There you go. So the tent is good and set up now. I'm going to put this away because the one thing about this bag, I like the fact that it's brown and not some neon color, but during the winter and fall, if you take and leave this thing on the ground, it's pretty easy to lose. So I'm going to put it on that side. This side, well, maybe this upper end, probably a better place for it. This end right here is what we're going to be using for our experiment tonight. I'm going to be attempting to heat this shelter with rocks. I've done that a lot of times with like bushcraft shelters, and it works phenomenally because for tonight it's going to be getting down to 25, 24. I've seen both, but definitely it'll be getting down to at least 25. And so what I'm going to do is, I know like we don't have to worry about like the heat melting the rain fly or that polyester, but like what I'm going to do is just dig a trench out right here under this vegetable. Not vegetable, but vegetable. I know that probably sounds like vegetable, but, and I'm going to take and just have a singular line of rocks, and we're going to leave this end closed, and then that end is going to be the side that I get in on. So that's where having two doors on the side, on like a tent this size, is really beneficial and helpful. So like we got to make the fire pretty far away because you can't have any direct flame. You don't want no sparks, nothing like that. But this is a really high quality, really thick. I've seen hot tents that have like a stove jack, that type of situation, made out of the same material, even made of lesser material, and they're fine. The thing I'm more worried about melting is the ground sheet that I have. So I'm going to tuck this side in a little bit more because that doesn't even matter because there's no moisture there. But let me move the camera, and I'll show you guys. We'll set up the sleep system on I might put the camera here and then I'll come in from that side. That way you can see it better. But what's up, guys? Welcome to MTV Cribs. We're going to take and look at my 1-bedroom, no bath, mansion here. But yeah, with all joking aside, I'm going to be using the patrol sleeping bag, the green sleeping bag from the military sleep system, along with that blow-up sleeping pad and pillow of mine. And that's all we're going to have in terms of, a sleep system. I did, like right now, I'm wearing a moisture wicking hoodie and then this 50-50 blend hoodie. And by the time I get done moving around, getting everything done, and it hits 46, I definitely will end up taking this off at some point, but this will be pretty sweaty. So here's that 100% wool sweater, and I'm pretty confident that just with the patrol bag and this sweater, I would be 100% fine, because the highest the wind's going to get tonight is 4 to 5 miles an hour, so just a gentle breeze. And with this heat system, even if I just ended up only being able to use 1 or 2 rocks right here, I'm hoping I can kind of have from this end right here like 1, 2, 3, probably about 3, maybe 4. It just depends on how deep down I'm able to dig with like a stick, like a trowel stick that I make. But now let me take and get the sleeping pad in here and blow it up, and then we'll get it inside the green bag. I just don't want the insects trying to hop in here thinking it's an open house, because whenever it warms up, like whenever it goes from really cold and then the temperature spikes and you get a bunch of insects getting out and moving around, especially spiders. So I want to get this done and sealed back up before they think they can move in rent free. You know what I'm saying? Okay, gave that thing right there a good mouth-to-mouth session. Yeah, it works out great too. The zipper's on this side that I'm going to use as my main doorway, so that'll make things a lot easier later tonight. See, stuff like this is where having the 1.5 is beneficial. Like, I mean, I camp in that Gore-Tex bivvy that goes with this sleeping bag all the time, and don't mind that a bit. The other nice thing about this green bag is like it's designed to be the outermost bag in that sleep system, because like whenever you're trying to put this sleeping pad inside that black bag, you got to wrestle it to death, especially whenever you're in a hammock. Boom, just like that. Oh, our bed for the night is made. Just double checking everything's good in here. I'm gonna take and open that flap outside. Let some more airflow get in here. Let it air out, because it's been a bit since I've got this bad boy out and set up. Oh yeah. But see, this is a really nice piece of ground too, because while in forestry, I know the names of just about every tree in my region and a lot of the other plants. I always forget what you call this stuff, but it's some type of evergreen, and it like lines the bottom of this around all these laurels, and a lot of it's covered up with leaves, but the ground is always super soft. And combine that with the air pad, and I mean you'll be counting sheep with the Sandman in no time. I don't want the fire close to the tent, because like super close to the tent, because we don't want to like have to risk. We don't want to have to worry about any embers or sparks going over there and, making holes in the rain fly. So we're about probably about 15 yards away, somewhere in that range. So I'm going to clear out a spot right here. There's a decent sized rock right there. See, that's probably about the size of rock we'll be going for, and I'll probably use that rock that I used to hammer in the stakes. Since we're tent camping, we're not going to be getting super bushcrafty with it today, but I got a handful of pencil lead sized wood right there. I'm going to take and break up the next level right here so it'll be ready. And then we're just going to introduce a few seconds of flame with our lighter. We should be good to go, because it's been a few days since we've had any type of precipitation, so it's not like stuff out here is drenched or soaking wet at the moment. We have no wind, not even a breeze, which I kind of wish we had a breeze right now. Now it's getting kind of up in the 40s. But yeah, this should be no problemo. You could go even smaller stick-wise than this, and it's going pretty good now. If you're doing something like that, you really want to take and make sure you have some type of base, because just introducing a flame as small as that lighter, where I've dug down and the ground itself is a bit moist underneath, it'll suck the heat right away from it. So doing that, you definitely want to make sure you have a base. And the wind does blow that direction. It rarely ever blows down towards my tent. We're not going to have a giant fire today. Like, we're going to make sure we have enough to sit by later on and chill out. But I just want to get this going so we can get that trench dug inside the tent and test out the rock theory. I took and ate a pretty good sized meal before I left the house and headed up here. So I'm not going to be eating until it gets about dark. But I do have a nice hearty meal for the night. We're going to get some big chunks on the side there. I'm going to take and get some more wood situated and ready. And then I'm going to go look for some rocks and find a stick to dig with. And I'll bring y'all back when I'm ready to dig that trench right there. I found 8 rocks that should be in the realm of possibility of being able to use them. I know that I could fit 3 under there. I'm going to see if I could fit 4. All these are pretty close to the same size except for this bad boy right here. It is definitely as large as I can go, I know. And then I found this stick. I broke it off. This end right here is pretty solid. So I'm going to see if I can use that to dig out the trench. But I want to go ahead and get 3 or 4 of these rocks in there around that fire so they can be heating up. Because a big thing I'm going to have to do too is find me a very solid, sturdy Y stick that I can use to like transport them from the fire to the tent safely. Because I'll say I'd much rather tough it out tonight and be a little chilly than end up dicking up my tent. Get this other smaller one. I'm going to go with the 4 smallest ones right now, because I just know for a fact that I can get at least 3 of those. But then if I find out that I have more space, then I'll, you know, kind of go back to the drawing board. Because see, the reason I have so many is I want to be able to, like, the heat's only going to last so long. The ground will help insulate them a little bit. I'm going to play around with it, maybe cover them with dirt, see how that does as far as holding the heat and maybe kind of reducing the intensity of it at first. But I want to take and have 4 in the fire when I go to sleep. That way if I wake up and I'm really cold, that I can get the other ones out and then put these in. And if I don't end up needing them, then, you know, they're fine. They can just stay there. This stuff cleared out of the way so I can see what I'm doing. Like, it's not nothing where you have to worry about the leaves catching fire or anything like that. I'm really just worried about this tarp ground sheet that I made for this. Draw a line right here, which would be like right at the base of where the rainfly is. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I was pretty much right on the money. That right there is the line. So, we have to be on the inside of that with our rocks, and we don't want to get no closer than like right here. these right here, these roots that go to these like laurels and these greens and stuff are actually really a pain in the butt to get through. So like what I'm doing is I'm just digging down. Whenever I find one, I just wedge my stick under it, use it like a lever, and then pop it. And then just trying to free up this dirt, rake it back, and then I think I'm going to take and try to make a bit more of a wall over here with this dirt. I had to take and get the K-bar out to cut that one. There we go. Use the wire cutters on my multi-tool and just snip these roots out of the way. Won't hurt a thing. Scavenging around, I found a broken limb, and I took and broke this end off. It had a longer edge coming up this way, and then at the bottom broke it off. That should be sturdy enough for this weight of rock. I think I should be able to scoop it up. I'm going to get my gloves, and then I'm going to use that same stick that we used to dig out the trench with to get the rocks out. But this has been in here long enough for this test to be solid. These rocks are pretty hot. I don't want to put a lot of pressure on this thing. Jesus Christ. There we go. See, just like that right there. So we moved the camera over to a hole, and that should work perfectly. This is the butt puckering moment where we don't want to goof. So we got that. Probably can't hear it, but them roots where they're wet, that's like it's hissing. So I'm going to start with 2 and close this off and kind of monitor it, and let's kind of get an idea of how everything's going to handle it. And then with just 2, after it sits for about 30 minutes, we'll crawl inside and see if we can tell any bit of difference. Should be good. Oh yeah, them babies are putting off some heat. I'm really curious to see if I should go ahead and... I'm going to go ahead and do one more. Risk it for the biscuit, baby. There we go. There we go. Even if there's a breeze, I don't think that's going to be a problem. So I'll grab you guys and we'll go sit inside for a minute. I got the fire up and going good, got the other rocks on there, and then I've been chilling in here for about 20 minutes now. And you can call me a liar if you want to, but I'm sweating. Like, I'm literally sweating. I just have on my pants. I do have on wool socks. This wicking hoodie, moisture wicking layer. That's up against the skin. So this tonight, I think it's going to be too much. I can only tell you, there's no way I could handle more than 3 rocks. I think what I might end up doing is using that one big one on this upper end, and then having the medium-sized one, so I just have 2. And where they're larger, I'm going to keep them in there until tonight when I'm ready to use them, and they should radiate heat a lot longer. And where I've got that dug out, the ground will kind of help. The conduction will suck it out, but that wall and stuff will help fight the convection at least, so it should be fine. The rainfly, 100% fine. The heat's not bothering that at all. But god dang, bro, that's working a lot better than I thought it would. I mean, I've used this before, like I said, in bushcraft shelters, but that's a much different, those are a lot more insulated. So like with those, it's very understandable why those hold heat and stuff so well. But with this, I thought the heat would be lost a lot quicker. But one neat thing, like I said, I normally don't ever use my, this pack or my modern day packs, but I just got this, routed through the window, so I'm just trying to catch back up on this. Where I have my allergies the way they are, I have to take and suck this for dear life to get it through, because I can't breathe through my nose. But yeah, I'm just sitting here because I do want to make sure I drink all this before tonight, because it is going to get down to 25. And even though I'll have some things kind of around the hydration pack, I don't want to have any water in it, so I don't have to worry about it freezing and busting. Modern day convenience. Okay guys, so it is about 4 8:45 at the moment, which means that nighttime is about 45 minutes to an hour away. And I'm going to take and show y'all what I got for like food wise in terms of dinner, and also for breakfast this time. Like normally we don't do breakfast, but due to the distance that we have this time, I included a very small breakfast just to kind of take and hang us over. Okay, so for breakfast we've got 2 blueberry Nutri-Grain bars, which are very good, quick and easy. I do have some coffee in a pocket on my backpack. For this trip, I want to make it kind of easy and simple. I have 2 pork chops that was cooked yesterday, so like those can be eaten cold, and I prefer those to be eaten cold. I really doused them with Old Bay seasoning. But the one thing that we do need to cook is this rice packet that I got. It is ready to serve rice, long grain, and wild rice. All I've got to do is take and boil this pack of stuff within this pot, covered in water. I'll get the water up to boil before I put this pack in, and like I'm essentially just taking and heating it. And then after that, I'll take and lay the pork chops on it. That'll warm up a little bit. But either way, it's 100%, you know, like self-contained. I've been letting this take and heat up quite a bit. I've got my gloves on. That handle's very warm. I've been wanting this to get up to the point to where it's a very, at the very least, somewhat of a steady boil and not a rolling boil. The only thing we're trying to accomplish right now is for this water to heat this this rice up. This is ready to serve rice, long grain, and wild rice. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and push this packet out. Oh, yeah, that water's hot. Yep, for sure, that water's hot. Okay, there's that. Then we're going to get our knife out and just make a small hole in that, just to make sure it don't explode. That's a very small hole, shouldn't let much water in. Oh, that's hot. Oh, it's hot on my knuckle. Oh, it's hot on the knuckle. Ah, yeah, there it is. Okay. Let that cook up. Okay. So our rice is definitely done. And so by swishing it and dumping it, the pot is basically 100% clean. Okay, so we dumped the rice. Now we're going to take and break out the good old multi-tool spoon fork do-jig. Okay. Cool. Okay, so here we go. We got our 2 pieces of pork chop with our wild grain rice finally done nice and good in our pot. What more could you want? There's one last look at it before it's gone. Got the pork chop, got that wild rice. Good to go. Fire burning down. I got both gloves on. During the time I was eating and getting the food ready, I took and put the old wool sweater on. Ready, so we can get our fire back where we want it, but like I said before, we want to take and get this one large stone to be the main heating element, biggest rock. So let's take and get the other one out, and this one right here is probably going to be the hottest. So once again, and I mentioned it before, But you want to remember not to have any of the rocks used for something like this have been in a riverbed or have been like primarily saturated. The rainfly has no issue right now. I am just wearing, I've got that wicking layer that I showed you before, and I went and swapped it out for the wool sweater, but it's way too hot to get underneath the sleeping bag right now. I might take and go ahead and just show you guys what it's like underneath the sleeping bag. But I've got the other 4 stones in the fire right now, but it's about burned down. It's nothing but coals, but between the coals and those rocks, it'll maintain the heat, you know, definitely until the point that I may or may not need them, but I don't think I'm going to need them at all. I don't think I'm going to be able to take and fall asleep underneath the sleeping bag until that stuff dies down. Like, I can feel a little bit of like coolness around my foot area, but I've only been in here 10 minutes. I put those 4 stones under there, and then based off of the time frame that we had with the ones earlier, it's getting warmer under here by the minute, even though the temperature is dropping outside. So if anything, I'm going to take and just climb underneath the sleeping bag, and then we'll take it step by step. The only reason I'm pausing is just because these bad boys are really hissing. There we go. So look, I am not trying to promote any type of crappy film work, but that's what you got. So it's been about another 20 to 30 minutes since we last checked in. It's very warm underneath here. I just want to take and go ahead and get underneath this and kind of get it waist level. Like right now, I could easily take and shed this wool sweater, but just underneath this wool sweater, I just have that wicking layer, so I know that once the heat starts to die down, I'm going to wish I had kept it on. So I just want to, you know, keep my upper body exposed. I've got my inflatable pillow, which, if I can find it, hello. My hands have got so many calluses on it. Anytime I try to grab anything, it just pops out from underneath me. But so, like, the pillow is perfect elevation with, like, what I've already got from just the natural slope of the land. And then, you know, like, as the temperature drops, I'll take and zip up the sleeping bag as I need to. I've got mittens, I've got gloves. Like, I'm not in any way worried about getting too cold tonight. And as comfy as I already am with that radiating heat coming up, like, I'm ready to go to bed. Like, I woke up at about 4:30 this morning, and right now it's about 6:30 to 7 p.m. I think. So I've been up well over 12 hours. So the tiredness is coming in, but if I need to get up in the middle of the night, I got my headlamp right over here on my right side, so I can get up and I can, you know, get more rocks, the ones that are on, like, in the coals right now. I checked the fire, like, it's completely safe. No worries about any issue of, you know, forest fire, any issue of anything screwing up with a tent. I really do. I do. I got to say one more time, I love this tent. Alps Mountaineering, you done it right with this one. I've had this thing for, God dang, I mean, at least between 5 and 8 years. That's a long gap, but if you want you a solid tent for somewhere between, I think right now this 1.5 sells for maybe like a $160, $180. Like, that's nothing for a tent of this quality. Like, I have put it through 4-season tests, and it's done fine. So, but yeah, anyways, guys, there you go. I still got the rocks hissing along. I've got my 2 breakfast bars right here on the side, just chilling out. So we'll have those when we wake up in the morning. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys hanging out so far, and I look forward to seeing you in the morning. So, good night. Good morning, guys. So it's a little bit after 7:45, probably right around 8 o'clock. I woke up about 30 minutes ago. Overall, the night was very comfortable. Didn't have to take and restock the rocks like from like the heat that my tent was able to hold. And then just like this wool sweater, I did end up putting on my gloves, and I also ended up taking and draping that soft shell jacket underneath like my legs. Like my feet stayed plenty warm, but with my legs where I don't have on any like long johns or thermals, like I guess depending on where you're at in the world, depends on what you call them, but I just have on a pair of pants. So I put those on because like my thighs, my knees was getting a little bit cold. But everything was like, it worked out great. The hot tent worked out great. I'll definitely do this again in the future when using a tent during the winter. I'm really glad I got able to like test out this patrol bag, because like now I have a very, very good indication on like what this patrol bag can handle. So yeah, I'm gonna take and eat these 2 breakfast bars, and then I'm gonna take and hike out. But I'm not going to do that until I chill out and rest a bit more. So yeah. So like as always, guys, thanks for watching. You know, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already, share your friends, check the link in the description of my other channels, sub to those as well. Sorry for the grogginess, but like whenever I wake up, I'm about as useful. I'm about as useful as a flipping square wheel. So yeah, there you go. I'll see you guys later.